to take.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Final Whistle. I'm your host, Breezy. I'm joined by
Marlon Bashman. Evening.
Ian.
And Kev, the club artist.
Brilliant. How are we all?
Yeah, absolutely great.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, the crunch part of the season. We love it.
Oh, yes.
The crescendo.
Games. So, we're going to go through all the games and see on our results and see how we got on. So, I'm going to quickly just draft up the Friday's game. So, Friday was Newcastle against City. Now, if I remember rightly, sorry?
Shall I go first?
You can, yeah.
Okay. Firstly, after all those decades of City cocking up when it's their glory moment, I was really pleased to see City get a win and a really exciting game because Newcastle is starting to play really well. And yeah, you know, a ding-dong game, 3-4, guard of honour at the beginning. Credit to Newcastle, well done, lads. And a hat-trick from Fernando Torres. It's did I say Fernando Torres then?
I thought you said that. I was thinking is that his name, but we're going to
and it was interesting seeing the commentators afterwards saying, "Oh, maybe City don't need to sign a striker. They got this young lad Torres from Spain." But I have to say, I've watched him. He's still got a long way to go. He's been anonymous in so many games when he's played this season. But it is good to see him score. But I wouldn't put all your hopes on it. That's all I'd say. But lovely game. Nice gesture by Newcastle. Good to see a Toon team on form and matching City blow for blow, nearly.
Yeah, I was quite surprised by the result, actually. I thought City would have been a bit more comfortable. I thought Newcastle obviously got the first goal. I did think that would have been it, and it would have been a comfortable sort of 4-1. But it just shows you, obviously, even in the later parts of the season, there can still be some surprising results, obviously, coming through. Club artist?
Yeah, I watched the game fits and starts. To be honest with you, I was quite busy that night. But I thought, like Ian said, you know, Newcastle played really well, and they have been showing improvement game in, game out over the last couple of 2 or 3 weeks. And I've been quite impressed with them the way that they've actually sort of managed their games, and they were scoring goals, which they were struggling to do at one point. So it's nice to see these teams that have been struggling all season to start to actually play better. Maybe it's because they've got to the end of the season, they know they're safe, they can play with a little bit more freedom. Whereas obviously City have other things on their mind. They've got the Champions League on their mind. Make a few changes, try and rest a few players. I didn't expect a 4-3, I must admit. I did expect quite a comfortable win for City, and it just didn't happen. They look very nervy. So, big up to Newcastle for the performance they put in, because that could have gone easily a 4-4.
Yeah, I was quite impressed with Newcastle, and I have been. I think there was one game that was against Arsenal. The one game they played, I just didn't think they'd turn up and they let you win. But every other game since they were in a relegation battle, like the last couple, I think they've been really impressive. So as long as they don't sit back and have a goal, they will do it right. And that's why I think they've been good last 2 games. And it was a good game to watch on Friday.
It's always good to see an Arsenal youth, enjoying the minutes for Newcastle.
Wilcox, yeah.
Yeah. So go on to our next game. So we've got Burnley against Leeds. Full time was 4-0 4-0 Leeds, sorry.
I was going to ask, who was the lady commentator who got in all of a fuss on Twitter when she said that Leeds always run out of steam at the end of the season and Bielsa works them too hard? I can't remember what was her name. I can't remember. I know the stick she got was out of order, well out of order. But I'd like to see him on Twitter now, eh?
Yeah. Leeds are a good team. And because they haven't really got any star players, well, they've got one, the guy that came from Valencia. What's his name? He scored for them the other day as well.
Rodrigo.
I would say he's the star, and the other players they've got are kind of like team players. And I just think then it's a good team to watch, and they're very fit. They made Spurs look ordinary. I think they're very good. They reminded me of Wolves last year, but Wolves have struggled. So let's see how Leeds do next year.
The agreement is on Jack Harrison. Because I'm confused on that. Because technically he's a Man City player, but I know he's certain going to Leeds, and I think a price was agreed. But looking at Jack Harrison now, whatever the price was, it's too low. Because he looks like the real deal.
I think I found it.
Anyway, I'll keep talking about Jack Harrison. Interesting player, technically on the Man City books, but actually came to American football, US football, before he came into the game, Jack Harrison. And, he must be knocking on the door almost of the England squad. Probably won't get in, but, it'd be really... Sorry?
You played in America, he said?
Yeah. He played through American football, Jack Harrison, and then came through Man City via the American franchise.
Oh, wow. Okay, cool. Yeah, I know that.
All right, I can't find it. I'll post it later.
Don't worry.
Okay, so I actually thought it was going to be a tougher game than that. I actually had Leeds to win. I think it was 2-1 their game. So I was quite surprised that they'd done 4-0 to Burnley. Since Burnley was a bit more solid defensively. But yeah, it was a good result for Leeds. So happy with them. Next game we've got.
I also mentioned Bielsa has allowed 2 of his players to finish the season now and prepare for the Euros. I mean, that guy is a real maverick, isn't he? I think it's Kloch, the German player, and one other player, and he's gone. Take the rest of the season off, lads, and prepare for the Euros for your country. He really is a maverick, isn't he?
Well, I don't know any other manager that would do that in the league anyway.
No, definitely not. Not when you consider how well they've done so far this season. I mean, they are sort of outside of the top sort of European or the Europa League's slots, but they've still got 2 games left. They're only they're 6 behind West Ham, who are in 7th. I don't know how far down the Europa League ladder goes for teams.
Yeah, how does it work? Yeah,
every position is worth a load of money.
Yeah, but going back to that Leeds one, I actually predicted a 2-2. I thought it would have been a lot tighter than that game. The 4-0. I watched that game. Leeds was just superb. They ran rings around Burnley. Burnley gave nothing in that game at all.
I think the last couple of games, the only performance Burnley have put in was against Wolves. But then Wolves have kind of given up as well. Other than that, they've had some indifferent results. But
I'm hoping come Wednesday they put in another performance like they did against Leeds, against us. That'll be nice. But knowing them, they'll show up.
Yeah,
I'm not certain.
Okay, so going on to the next game, it's Southampton against Fulham. So Southampton won 3-1. Marlon.
I'm going to be honest, I missed that one.
Ooh.
So I'll give that one a miss. I apologise.
Okay.
I didn't see it, but the only comment I'd make when you're looking at Southampton and Newcastle is finally they've got nearly all their players back. Both teams have been savaged by injuries all season and COVID. And finally, if you remember, Southampton got off to a flyer when all their players were fit. Then they got loads of injuries and plummeted down the league, a bit like Newcastle. And then finally, and it just shows how, when you've got a really thin squad, you can absolutely plummet down the league if you get 3 or 4 injuries. Whereas the bigger clubs can ride it out.
Yep.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I mean, if you look at Liverpool, obviously the injuries that they've had, especially with like Virgil van Dijk, other key centre back. Mane's had missed a couple of games here and there or niggles. Henderson, yeah, those kind of players. Obviously, when it's your core starting 11, it just shows you how much you need them to be on fit. And if one of them goes down, it's not so bad. But if you've got 4 or 5 of them going down, especially with Virgil, that was pretty much your season.
Yeah, that just goes to show how important strength and depth is on the bench. If you've got players that can come in and do a job, maybe not as well, but they can come and do a job, then you're not worrying too much, and you're not scrambling around to try and find players to fill slots and that don't necessarily sort of gel or fit. We've had that problem all season. And I think there's something like about 20 different centre-back pairings this season, which is absolutely ridiculous. It's crazy. And you still get people, saying to us, everybody else has had injuries, blah, 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 blah. You just have to deal with it. Well, it's all very well dealing with it, but when you have your 3 main centre-backs out pretty much all season, and then you have to put in Phillips and the likes of Fabinho at the back, so that messes up your midfield and things like that. And so for us, it was difficult. For other teams that don't have even the strength and depth we have, that's massive for them because they're struggling anyway to start with, to sort of get above the relegation zone. It's been tough for some teams. I mean, for the Southampton match, I went for a 2-0 win. I couldn't see Fulham doing anything. I don't know why. Does anybody know why Ings came off? Was that an injury again, or?
I think it's just playing safe, if I'm honest, because obviously I know he's missed quite a few games due to injury. And I think only just came back.
58 minutes. 15 minutes he came off. So that's not that's not a lot, but obviously if they want to sort of change things up, or give players a rest like Ings, obviously coming back from the injury, then
I hope Fulham stick with Scotty Parker.
Yeah.
Spurs is a bit too far for him. Spurs would be crazy to take a punt on him now. He needs another couple of seasons, but I really, really hope he plays his way out of the Championship.
Well, I hope so. So next game we've got is Brighton against West Ham. Marlon, did you watch this one?
Yeah, good game.
Yeah.
And as said before, I'm impressed with Brighton. I think they're a good team. Just missed a striker, but then Welbeck seems to be scoring quite a few goals. He's all right when he's not fit, Welbeck. I'll give him that. He's all right. West Ham, this season, still below us. Not really too bothered about them, to be honest.
Well, to be honest, I actually thought it was going to be a West Ham win. I actually thought they would do run right over Brighton, but I did think they would win probably about 2-1. I just thought with the season that they've been having, with the players that they've got obviously back from injury, I thought they'll do all right. Obviously, clearly not. They got a draw. It's also going to be challenging for that Europe place, so hopefully they'll get in. I am hoping that they do get to Europa.
They deserve it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do. I went for a West Ham win as well, but a close West Ham win. Brighton have been playing really well, especially over sort of the last 5 or 6 games. In fact, they've actually won more points than West Ham over the last 5 games. Yeah. West Ham have lost 3 of the 5, drawn 1-1-1, and Brighton's lost 2, drawn 2, 1-1. So they're only a point more, but when you consider, like you say, West Ham are pushing for Europa League places, and the way that they've been playing their football this season, I've watched them quite a few times, and they've been outstanding compared to what they used to be like. But big up to Brighton for putting in another good performance.
Mm-hmm. Ian?
Yeah, I like Scott Parker, Graham Potter at Brighton. I think he's a really great, really bright young English manager, and I wish him all the best. And they want to play football. And Howler or whatever at Southampton. I love managers, particularly young managers who want to play football. I hope that the Allardyce style days are behind. And what a pleasure it is to see Norwich come back up, playing football going down, playing football going up. And I hope Scott Parker can do the same. And I respect Graham Potter. At some stage, Potter will go to a big club. Not yet, but yeah, I think he's that good.
I think the name goes against some of these managers before and what they've done as players.
Yeah. Like Sam Allardyce said, he said if my name had been Allardyce rather than Allardyce, I might have got a better crack of the whip. But yeah, there's got to be a pun be said that maybe Potter's not that magic yet.
So going on to the next game, it wasn't really for the league; it was more for the FA Cup. And I was one that was watching this game, and I actually went for a Chelsea win, but I did want Leicester to win it. And what's the game that was? I don't know if you guys both watched it or watched it. But that was a cracker of a game.
The FA Cup.
Yeah. I thought Chelsea would turn up and loosen the taps after the other game where they lost. It was a good game. But that Tielemans goal.
Stunner.
Yeah.
Stunner.
But at the same time, you've got to feel for Chelsea. That offside, it was a bit like when Man City went out the quarterfinals or whatever, or semi-finals, quarterfinals of the Champions League to Spurs. It was like, no. If you're a Chelsea fan, you've got to be bleeding over that decision. Yeah. And that Schmeichel save at about 80 minutes or whatever. I mean, that's just
the two that he does well.
2 moments, and Chelsea could have been lifting the trophy.
Yeah. The thing is, when Tielemans' goal, the way he went up to it, I was like, he's going to score here. And he just smashed it in. I was like, what? But I was waiting for some flag or a handball. But good goal.
It could have been handball because it went off his thigh onto his arm. When I saw it replay, I thought, no. Don't trash a thing of beauty like that. I almost made a prayer sign to say, that's an FA Cup winning goal. Don't VAR trash that one. But I thought they might.
Yeah.
It was a good goal, though. Klopp?
Yeah, I did. I watched some of it, and it was a very open game. And yeah, all I can say about that Tielemans goal was that is a fitting goal to win any cup competition, without a shadow of a doubt. It was hit sweetly. The whole coming off the knee, hitting the arm thing, as Ian said. That could have been looked at both either way. That could have gone either way. Some I've seen given, some I've seen not given. His arm wasn't in an unnatural position, and it's come off his knee. It's not gone directly onto his arm from just an open play. Me personally, I didn't think it would have been a handball. So
United would have got that decision there.
Yeah. United would have got that decision.
Of course.
I personally don't think that that should have been blown up for a handball. But I didn't see the save that Schmeichel made, and I didn't see the offside potential goal. I was actually having my dinner at the time, so it is what it is. I mean, Chelsea I've noticed Chelsea at the moment haven't been playing as well as they have pretty much been all season. Since Tuchel took over, they seem to have dropped the ball a little bit. Now, I don't know if it's this league thing coming into the players' minds again. Do you think they would have been, I don't know, maybe a little bit more up for this game? I thought Leicester thoroughly deserved the game. They looked more up for it and looked like they wanted it more, in my opinion. And I wanted, to be honest with you, I wanted Leicester to win.
Okay, great.
The only thing I want to add is that I think James Vardy's finished. Reece James had him completely in his pocket. I mean, he's an outstanding young fullback, and Vardy didn't get a single bit of change. And I think he's 12 years older than him or whatever. And for once, I thought, I think Jamie Vardy's days are numbered.
Okay, so we're going to Sunday's games. So first one, we have Palace against Villa.
I never saw that coming. I'm going to watch Palace Arsenal. I have a season ticket at Palace on Wednesday. So we're in the Clifton with a table outside the ground about 5:30. So I'm looking forward to Palace Boys watch the game. I didn't see that coming. I did see some wag in the press saying that Benteke only ever plays well when his contract's coming up for renewal. I think they're probably right. There's a few players like that, like Sissoko. He only played well to get a new contract, and then falls off a cliff, a bit like Benteke. Whether Palace decide to renew his contract or someone else takes a punt on him, I think unfortunately they're going to be sadly disappointed based on that. But hey, I never saw 3 goals coming from Palace. I really didn't.
No.
Good game.
No.
Good game.
I had it down for I think a 2-1 for Villa to win. I was quite shocked at that result. But yeah, I think Villa need to obviously spring back. Obviously, after what happened last season, they've had a few dips. So obviously they seem to be playing a bit more better now. Obviously, with Martinez is obviously getting a bit more of a clean sheet. So yeah, Marlon.
No, I thought they played well. Palace, I think when they attack, they're actually a good team. I think they've got a very good team and quite impressive. One issue they've got though, I think it's over 7 or 8 players out of contract. Are like 30 plus, so it's going to be a bit of a challenge for them next season or this summer.
And the manager's out of contract as well.
Oh yeah, and the manager,
Yeah.
Wow. Klopp.
I went for a 1-1 actually. I've noticed that Villa have not been playing so well again over the last sort of 5 or 6 games. Seem to have dropped off a little bit. Palace, they've not been great all season. But like Ian said, I couldn't see them scoring 3 goals. Even at home, they just haven't been scoring very many at all. And to get 3. And to go behind twice and pull it back around, they played well going forward. I must admit, I was quite impressed with how they played on the day. Can they sustain it for the last 2 games? Well, they can sustain it for the next game, but not the last game.
Not for Palace, no, because they're playing us on Wednesday, and we need the 3 points. If I'm honest.
So do we.
So going on to the next game, we've got Spurs against Wolves. Spurs 1-2-0. Obviously, I thought Spurs would win that because obviously Wolves have had a dip in form as of late. They've had quite a few injuries as well. So yeah, I think I went for a 2-0. 2-0 win for Spurs. Marlon.
It was a shocking first half, I must admit. I think it was Mason picking his mates, as I said before. But second half, they played well and shut me up, so can't complain. I think they moved further up the pitch and just took their chances as well. So have to enjoy it as long as we finish above you lot. It's all good.
Yeah.
That's my trophy this year.
Yeah. Ian?
No, I was just thinking that you got 4 teams that we thought might sneak a European place in Villa, Wolves, Everton, and West Ham, and all 4 of them seem to be collapsing towards the end of the season, don't they?
Yeah.
All 4 very similar teams. At one stage, you thought all those 4 teams were knocking down the door of the top 4, and now that they'll all finish mid-table with Palace.
Yeah.
Klopp?
I went for a 3-1 on that one on the show. There's no way I could see Wolves getting anything from that game. They've certainly not played that well this season. They're very much missing Jimenez up front. That's a massive blow to them. However, I do like the way that Wolves play, the open game that they play. generally, they used to cause many teams a lot of problems. I'm unsure about Spurs interim manager at the moment. I mean, they're saying he's not going to get, they don't think he'll get offered the job permanently, which obviously I can see that not happening. They need a big name and experienced manager. But it's nice to see Dele Alli back in. He did some nice moves, played quite well.
Tell him to get his hands off Guardiola's girl, then, yeah.
Yeah.
How dare he? How dare he?
But yes, Spurs thoroughly deserve the 3 points at the end of the day.
Okay, so we go on to the next game, and we have West Brom versus Liverpool, and it finished Liverpool 2-1. We'll go with the club artist first.
I went for quite an easy 3-0 win. West Brom have been awful, absolutely awful this season. And just like our normal luck, we do we turn United over at their ground and played really well. And then the following game, we play a very low team in the league, and you expect goals galore, and it didn't happen. West Brom defended really well. There were some controversial moments, which do I go over them or do I not go over them? I mean, Salah took his goal exceptionally well, but there was obviously talk that the ref messed up with the should have given a drop ball instead of a free kick, which I totally agree with. That shouldn't, the ref didn't touch the ball, so it definitely should be a drop ball. So he did drop the ball on that one. But in that respect, West Brom still had plenty of time to clear and plenty of chances to clear that ball away. They didn't. And they didn't. So, yes, they made, the ref made a mistake, but, it was, the goal was justified in the way it was taken. West Brom then went, they scored, didn't expect them to score at all. And then you had their offside goal, which wasn't offside. However, I've spoken to many different people from different social media and many different referees as well about the decision that was made on that goal. And basically, they were justified and VAR were justified in saying disallowed because the player was in an offside position covering the goalie's vision. So I saw, you can look at it both ways. Luckily it went for us. But then last minute injury time winner from Alisson. Who would have expected that? Just phenomenal. And it wasn't one of those goals where it just hit him and it went in. He powered the header in like a pro. So maybe we should start him up front for the next game. Who knows?
Yeah.
I'll gratefully take those 3 points.
Yeah.
I haven't got a lot to say. I love football. It's a beautiful game. And when drama like that happens, it's fun. It's great. It's what football's all about. A goalkeeper goes forward, puts it in the back of the net, whether it's, keeping you in the Football League with that goalkeeper glass for whatever the team was or Alisson. It's a fun thing to see. Just before we went on air, I said that, if you were in La Liga, you'd have been talking about Suarez's last minute, dramatic winner for Atletico. It's kind of a bit like that. But that's why this is the most fantastic game at the best end of the season when amazing things happen, like the cup final, like Alisson, like Suarez. Amazing things happen. I just don't want anything amazing to happen in the Champions League final.
Well, we'll see. Marlon?
The highlight of the game was that goal. It came out of nowhere. Last minute, I was like, what? What's he doing? But it was well deserved. I think he connected with that ball better than most strikers as well. So I was impressed. But as I said, Liverpool weren't playing that great, but a win's a win at the end of the day. You have to take it. I think they will make Champions League now. I think Leicester's going to drop out.
Do you? Okay.
I
I went for a comfortable Liverpool win. I like I said, I agree with Klopp. I thought it would be Liverpool probably 3-0. I didn't think West Brom would get a goal, so I was quite surprised there. And for Liverpool to get it in the 95th minute by an Alisson header, that was very much surprising to me. But it just goes to show you that obviously later half of the season, anything can happen. So we'll go on to our last game, and that's Everton against Sheffield United. And it finished Sheffield United 1 and Everton 0.
I went for an Everton 2-0 win. I couldn't see Sheffield getting much out of it, especially at Goodison Park. But again, they defied all the odds. They played really well. I didn't see the whole of the game. I caught it in bits and pieces. But even come near the end, Sheffield could have put another one in the back of the net quite easily. And they've been playing really well since they knew they were going down. Regardless, they've seemed to think. Whether it's, again, that sort of relaxation, we've got nothing to lose now. Just let's go out and play, which is nice to see, because I think sometimes these teams that are constantly worrying about, are we going to go down, are we not going to go down, get a bit too nervous, and they don't play the way that they usually do play. So it was nice to see, and even more nice for me, the fact that, Everton didn't win.
Ian?
I didn't see that coming at all. I don't really understand what's going on at Everton. When you look at their team and their players, they've got a talented squad, and Carlo Ancelotti is a world-renowned manager. I think they should be doing a bit better.
I agree. Marlon? You want me?
Sorry. Yeah, I was just saying that they're inconsistent and they've got a good team. But I think also injuries have played a part, because they've missed quite a few key players. I don't know. I think they should be making Europe with that squad. So let's see how they do next year.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I was quite shocked with the result. I thought Everton would win that quite comfortably. Obviously, that wasn't the case. And obviously, Sheffield United got the points. Obviously, a bit too late for them now. Obviously, they're down. So, yeah. But, I mean, it's a good game of weekend games. I just want to spend just a couple of minutes, if I can, just as there was some news that just sort of broke about an hour or so ago that...
I thought I escaped that.
Yeah, no, sorry. That Harry Kane has told Spurs that he wants to leave Tottenham.
Ooh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, just spoke about an hour ago. So I'll come to you,
Only
Marlon.
on Sky News, though.
Yeah. Come to you, Marlon. So,
Lies.
how do you feel?
God, what's the question? How do I feel? I was going to say he's a bit selfish, because to be honest, he's had chances to win trophies at Spurs and he hasn't turned up. Let's be real. He's been in 3 cup finals and he hasn't turned up. Not just him. And he's had a chance to win a league. I am being harsh. I'm being bitter.
Yeah. Carried them.
But go abroad, not in the UK team.
Okay.
I've got.
Honest, if we get the money and we invest it properly, we might be all right. Liverpool done it. Coutinho. I'm actually wishing for the best, but you never know.
Well, there's talk that he's supposed to be going across to Europe, potentially PSG.
I doubt it.
Interesting. Well,
If
he goes to Real Madrid, that's not illogical.
Yeah. I doubt those Spanish teams even are appealing to him at the moment. I just think it'll be City.
I doubt it'd be City. I don't think it'd be City. I think if City going to go in all in for that kind of money, they'll go in for Haaland.
I think it'll be United, and can I make a point here about United that I was talking about off air? Women's football, hang your heads in shame, Manchester United. Hang your heads in shame. You're a decade late to the table after all the big clubs have got decent women's football teams, and now you have appalling facilities. You pay 85 million or whatever for Maguire, and you pay like £2.50 in a bag of boiled sweets to the women's football team for their facilities. Hang your head in shame. Get your act together. Get into 2021, Man United. Don't you dare spend all that money on Kane and not invest in women's football. Don't you dare.
Fair play.
Very strong words, but they are all good words.
Yeah, very valid.
They are. So yeah, that was it really. Just talk about the whole Harry Kane. So we'll see what happens in the summer and where he goes. But I reckon he'll be abroad. Because they reckon that Zinedine Zidane's going to leave Real Madrid and potentially Allegri is going to take over.
The team's not good enough. I can't see him going there.
Who? Kane to what? Madrid?
Yeah.
I can see him going to PSG with Mbappe going to Real Madrid. So PSG spend the Mbappe money on Kane. That could happen.
But I'm pretty sure that Mbappe just signed a new contract, did he not?
No.
Neymar. Oh, okay.
Neymar, yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll end it there then, guys.
Thank you.
Have a nice week.
No worries. Okay. Well, we'll see you all again soon.
Yeah, another good week. Cheers, chaps. Have a nice time.
To take your